Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. I need to take this mic off for a minute because I need to cough, but I didn't want to cough. Thank you. Excuse me. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
I think that would be very rude just to cough right into the mic. What's that for? Unless I coughed in Arabic, then that might be. I thought that was a pretty good joke. Y'all made me laugh. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu. Today we want to continue in our Quranic Arabic presentations, and I want to do it by way of something with English words, just to show you this. And this is not to try to teach you English, although that wouldn't be a bad idea, but it's not necessary. You know, I've heard people asking, well, you have to know English in order to learn Arabic. You don't have to know any other language in order to learn a new language. You just be neutral. As a matter of fact, the less you know, the easier it is for you to learn a new language. Did you know that? The difficulty comes in what you do know, and you, or at least what you think you know. Okay. And if it's confused, then that makes it difficult. That's the reason why little children can learn a new language. Why? Because they don't have anything to argue with the learning of the new language. That's what the problem is. We don't know we're arguing, but the contention, I don't understand, is really an argument. All right? Because it's not necessary to do what you call understanding, just agree, and that will bring about the understanding. Because all the language is, any language is a group or collection of signs, symbols, or if it's written, it will be symbols that we call letters, alphabet. If sign language, or if it's spoken, then sounds. And we agree upon those sounds. So I just wanted to show you something that we have on the board over here. Just put it together right quick and have to erase it because I wasn't doing it like I wanted it. But just on one Latin word, and we can't do this, I'll put it like this, I can't do this with all English words, right? Because they come from so many different places. But the word science, we're all familiar with this as a whole area of study, and then they break the science down into many sciences. But science is to know the essence of a thing. Now what brought it to my attention, because I'm using the term ilmul ishtiqaq, which means the science of syllabication. Science, I mean to know. And in Arabic, ilm comes from the word ayman, which means to know, so it's not difficult. But where does science come from? Most of us don't know. We read where it says science is about this, but literally it came from two words. Siri, S-C-I-R-E, and now this is not my imagination. Go to your dictionary and look in the brackets. They have the etymology of words are found in brackets. Most dictionaries will have it in square brackets like this, before you even get to the meaning of the word. And that which is in there, that's where you find stuff like you have like Siri, C-I-R-E. I guess I'm spelling right, C-I-R-E. And then you would have a big L after, and it's Latin. And then if they have more further breakdown, they'll have show you where the other breakdown comes from. So I wrote the big word Siri up here because it is key to two words I just want to mention to you this morning, today. And that is science. Science coming with the S-C-I and the E-N-S-E from essence. Essence, which means the nature of things. And as long as I mention that, that's what Adam taught the angels. It's the translation is not bad. It said teach them the name. What do you name? But the word for name in Arabic, ism, comes from the word sumun, which means sky.
Samawat comes from this word. So I'm not going to take the time to write all that on. But and so what is it saying when it says the ism? Ism is that which elevates you from everything else. That's your name. If I just say, brother, you ought not do that, you'll be looking around for 20 brothers in there. Who are you talking about? But if I say a specific brother, then you know who I'm talking about. Okay? So your name is what my name, your name is what elevates us out of the rest of the group. So it is essentially the same as essence in science. In other words, the nature. So that's what Adam taught them. He didn't just say, like, your name is Joseph and your name is Mary. No. He taught them, Allah taught Adam, and then Adam taught the angels what, not only the angels, but everything in creation. That's what man's job is. That's what man's challenge is, to learn the nature of everything in creation, because it's here for his use, right? Okay. So I just wanted to share that with you, and then I thought this was a funny part over here, just stuck it over here. Nisus is another Latin word. It means not. And again, Syrian, so the word nice comes from two Latin words. Not what? To know. So when someone tells you you're nice, they're not complimenting you. By agreement, they have changed it now, say it's a compliment. But again, you look up the word nice and look at the etymology of this well, and you'll see what I'm saying. But when we look up words, we just look to see what they say the meaning is, and we don't bother with the essence, with the etymology of the word. But this, and so why am I mentioning all this stuff? This is what we're doing with the Arabic language, and that is that we are going to the root words. Almost in every word that we would bring you, we go to the essence of the word, go to the very root of the word, so that you can get a better understanding. And this, you say, well, where do you get that from? I got it directly from Imam Mohammed. Every time you listen to a talk of Imam Mohammed, he's doing this kind of thing. He didn't say, now this comes from this, but his talks are really the etymology of words that are in the Quran. And then like the tape we listened to this morning, at the end, he actually read the surah that he'd been talking from. He just said, now this, I'm going word by word. But he gave us the essence of it. And then those of you on the lifeline, at the end of the tape, he read Surah Shams, right? Which is what he's been talking about all the time, all right? Okay, so I just wanted to share that with you as we proceed today in the few notes I have. I have a few notes written here. So let me erase this off the board. Excuse me. Cover the mic. Just protect the mic. All right. What we're doing when we do this kind of thing is we are doing it in relationship to something that we learned from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad in the Nation of Islam. His reference to it was in reference to, matter of fact, he presented, they had a collection of articles that he had done and formed in 2 books, right? How to Eat to Live, book 1 and book 2, right? And the primary underlying factor of what he did in his talks was showed us the difference, if you were sharp-minded, showed us the difference between eating to live and living to eat. Now, some of us speak in order to speak as opposed to speaking in order to be understood. Because oftentimes we don't really understand what we're saying ourselves because we learn to use words by rote, so to speak. That I heard somebody else say it, so I say it. And we accumulate a vocabulary that is used habitually like that without really understanding what we are talking about. So I want to tell you that today there are 3 words that are used to refer to the Arabic language. That one, it's still working up there. I thought maybe it was this one. Okay. Lugatul Arabiya. That's one word. And then another word is lisan
Lisan Arabiya. And then this one. Now these two words are Quranic words. They are what I mean. They are used in the Quran. This one is not. At least I haven't found it. Lahjatun. Lahjatun. This has to do with passion, emotions, and out of it you get what we call accent. So that's what you can say man in different ways, and it will mean different. The same word M-A-N will mean different things. You say man, mean that you're amazed. You can say man expressing anger. You can say man being friendly. All right? And there are other ways, the same word. So that's what we're talking about when we talk about lahjatun. That's the accent. And this changes sometimes with the same word from one Arabic speaking group to another. The accent changes the meaning of the word, what they mean. It's like what you say when you say man, you don't mean the same thing all the time. But we have an agreement, we understand based on your inflections, how you say it, we know what you mean. All right? Right, man? Man. Okay, so this word here, lugatun, I wrote some notes down. Okay, lugatun comes from this word here. It comes from this root word. Lagwun. Lagwun. And that means to babble. And this is the one this is the direction that I come from most of the time. It means to babble. This word here comes from word lasina. Lasina. Let's see, I'm thinking. I'm checking for where the vowel is on the middle here. Let's see. And I suspected that it was that the vowel was kesra as opposed to fatha because of what the word means. That means lasina means to speak. So you see the kesra on the middle of the root word. When the kesra is on the middle of a word, on the middle letter of a root word, it means that the nature of that word, whatever the word means, not just this word lasina, but whatever that word means, it means that word has that meaning has a temporary or accidental meaning in it, aspect in the meaning. Okay. So just to give you an example, say salima, which is the root word for Islam. Kesra on the middle. All the words that come from that word, salima, have something of a temporary aspect to it. And the best one I can give you is Muslim, coming from that word, Muslim. And the reason why I say the best one, because we all can identify with it. Honestly, you don't have to confess to me. But honestly, we can see, if it means temporary, if salima means temporary, let me write salima up here, salima, so you can see what I'm talking about. If we have salima, and I'm not through with this, salima, which is the root word for Islam, Muslim, and the greeting assalamu alaikum and so forth. And this kasra means something that's temporary. That means as Muslims, we are temporary. We're temporary. What do I mean? How do you say? What are you talking about? What you talking about, Agin? It means that we are not perfect. Because salima means, although some dictionaries will tell you it means to submit or to be peaceful. Wait till I give you this definition and then see if you can agree with it. I say salima means to escape from danger. Now, I didn't come up with that on my own. I have it in a book, okay, but it means to escape from danger. Well, brother, in the book our God says it means to be peaceful, to seek peace. Well, tell me how peaceful your environment will be while you are in danger. You see, there's no difference in those meanings. It's just the way that is expressed, or just the way that is expressed, okay? So, and I say that to you because recently on the Lifeline, there was an expression that Shaitan prays. I didn't hear any response. So y'all like that, don't you? So Shaitan prays. But he doesn't. He doesn't. Where did that come from? Where did that understanding came? It came from an expression that is true. And that is that Shaitan is never absent from any prayer. And we all know this from the beginning, because that's what it says, stand shoulder to shoulder, your brother, your sister. So no, there's no space in between you, because if there's space in between you, Shaitan, how could he get in between if he's not there? So he is present at every time and place of prayer. But he does not pray. He does not pray because he thinks that he has the guidance already in order for him to, let me show you. Agin, how you going to say he didn't pray? Prophet Mohammed sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if you do not recite the Al-Fatiha, you have not prayed. Now, can you see Shaitan saying, Ihdina sirat al-mustaqim? God, Shaitan aspect, he thinks he got the guidance already. That's where his arrogance comes from. He thinks he's got it already. So he ain't making, even when in the Quran, we misunderstand in the Quran where they translate, they say, he asked Allah to give him, what was it he asked for? Respite. And respite suggests that he's asking for a little mercy or so forth. But and I can't think of the word right now, but take my word for it. And if you find it in the Quran, if somebody want to find it in the Quran, I can show you. If someone wants to find the passage in the Quran where he asks for, he doesn't ask for help. He asks. He says, "Watch me." That's really what he said. Watch me. That's what he's not asking, but he said, "Watch me." I gave it to Brother Mohammed because I know he can find stuff in it. He said, watch me. Now, the translator says respite. I don't know that's not a word that we use in everyday, not the community, not the neighborhood I come from. I had never heard respite until I read it in the Quran, So, what is it?
Surah 2 or either Surah 16.
Well, just tell him right quick, he can find it. Okay. All right. And the reason why I want him to find it so I can show you I can't remember the word right now, but I have looked it up. And the word means to watch me. Watch me. And I just, I'm getting up there, so I can't remember all the stuff all the time. But it means to watch me. And it has fa in front of it, which means right now. Now, you know that term watch me is not a dua. That's a boast. Remember James Brown said, watch me. And he slid all across the floor, right? Because he wants you to watch him. That's what Shaitan is saying when he says when they translate it, say respite. So we miss the significance of Shaitan's attitude because we think maybe he do pray. The only thing that Shaitan did was acknowledge that Allah is his Rabb. He calls him Rabbi, my Lord. You're the biggest. But I'm going to show you something about this man. Just watch me. Okay, let's go on now. In Salima, we are Muslim as long as we are obeying Allah's command. Now, I'm not going to ask you to raise your hand, but which one of us? Now, the reason why I don't do it because everybody be running to you, want you to be their leader, and I don't want you to be bothered like that. But which one of you never makes a mistake, is always doing right? Don't raise your hand now because everybody be running over there to you and they be wanting you to bless them, So. All right. That's what I mean by temporary. I don't mean that we are in and out of Islam maybe for a year. I'm just talking about in our everyday life. But Allah is what? Oft forgiving and most merciful. So as soon as we recognize we made a mistake, we say, Astaghfirullah. Ask Allah forgive us, and he take us right back. And so it's so momentary for the good believer. It's so momentary until it's hardly noticeable, but it's still temporary. And lasina means to speak. That's temporary, has a temporary nature to it also, unless you know somebody who talks all the time, other than me.
You said, how do you say that? Lasina?
Lasina.
Lasina.
Not your former neighbor. Her name was La.
She's like a mother.
Yeah, he didn't know his
when I was a little boy.
Yeah. Larsina, but hers Lar, Larsina. Yeah, no. This is just last
You
night.
knew all that.
Yeah, we worked together for years. All of,
School.
no, not teaching school. I never taught with her, but we went to school together while we worked at the post office together. We worked we had the same scheme in the post office.
And she's just like you. She's still somewhere working.
Yeah, and we both were. Of course, she wasn't on the same shift I was on, but we both worked at night and went to school during the day. Right? And we graduated around the same time, maybe the same time, maybe the same time. Yeah.
If I was going into her, that sounds like she lived in her father's building.
Okay. Well, she knows me. She knows I'm Muslim. She may not know the name, but
She know us.
I was just talking about me.
I'm she'll remember you.
Yeah, just tell her Granville, she know that, but I don't know whether she knows the name, but she does know I'm Muslim because she's the one that told me that she was your all's neighbor and that she and your mother grew up together. That's what she told me. So okay, we got off sidetracking me and brother.
Since you knew her.
Oh yes,
When I
I
heard you say Larsina, I heard Larsina.
yeah, right.
You didn't like her, did you?
No. No. I was already married. I remember when she got married. Though. I remember when she married him. Yeah. I remember when she and him got married. Yeah. Yeah. And I couldn't remember his name until it just came up like that. And I think it's Hemp. I'm not sure about Hemp. I knew we always just called him Hemp.
Yeah, he was mean, man.
Well, he was quiet. I didn't know he was me. I didn't know him well. I just knew who she got married to.
I should have said that, but it's true. He didn't live long either.
No.
That's why it's good to be happy.
Yeah. I know he was. I didn't know anybody who was his friend, and I never had a conversation with him. I just knew who she married. Okay.
Baseball. He loved baseball.
Yeah. Okay. Did you find it? No. Okay. My time is almost up. Okay. So that's what we're talking about. So language in itself, then, everything that's coming from this, as far as the tongue is concerned, it is of a temporary nature because nobody is using it all the time. All right, I mean, as far as the tongue is concerned, but you notice we don't have a ooh over here. No, we don't have a ooh on this over here because it is not temporary. See, the tongue is temporary. You're not going to be talking all the time, right? But language in itself, you're using all the time. Even your dreams are in a language. So you're using it, and the brain never says, oh, well, it does. It does, but when it does, we're not happy about it, and we hope that it doesn't last too long so we can come back. That's called a stroke, But basically, the brain is going all the time, even when we are asleep. It's still, and sometimes the brain solves problems that we've been trying to deal with for a long time, and wake up in the morning with the answer to the problem. Okay, did you find the word? Oh, okay, all right. Just let me know as soon as you have it so I can go on. Okay, so now this one is the direction that I come from. Lugatul Arabiya comes from Lakwan, and this one here also means idle talk. In the Quran, when it talks about the believer being in heaven, it says there will be won't be no idle talk. No. It's in the last Jews, but I can't remember which chapter it's in right now. But I can't remember which chapter I can't. It's in Nabah, where it says there will be no describes what paradise would be like. There'll be no lugwa. There'll be no idle talk. Ain't nobody sitting around talking smack. All right. Okay. All right. So what we are saying then is to add significance to the language so that the language becomes more than just something to run the mouth, but it becomes a nutrient for your intellectual development. That's the point, and that nutrition is coming by the way of Lugatul Arabiya as opposed to Lisan. Lisan Arabiya is the talking. Lugatul Arabiya is coming from the very developmental stages of how the language developed. And recently, I was listening to speech of Imam Mohammed, and he mentioned that concerning the Arabic language of the Quran and the Prophet being an Arab, and some people, especially those of Arab descent, would like to think, like they're the special people because they happen to, the prophet is Arab, and it's their language. And it's not their language. It's not what they're speaking, and they will shut up as soon as you say this. What they are speaking and what we have in the Quran are not the same thing. I'm dealing with, I run into them every now and then. I run into a couple on, in my ride who will acknowledge that they're Muslim. Most of them hide, but they'll acknowledge that they're Muslim. And then we have a few words. I had one young lady who was an Arabic student. And so she was very interested because she was ready to challenge me with her tongue. And then when I explained to her, I said, well, my focus is on Lughat al-Arabiya. And I say, and that is dealing with Arabiya Fusha. When I said Fusha, she shut up. As soon as I said Fusha, she shut up. She had nothing, and she was a student at the University of Chicago. She had nothing else to say except just to, and she told me, I'd like to have more conversation with you. And I don't mean she shut up in the sense of not having any more conversation. But when she got in, she was a talkative person. I don't bother people who don't want to talk. They ride and they don't want to talk. I let them ride silently, They can go to sleep if they want to. All right? I hope their ride be long enough for them to go to sleep so that I can make more money. All right. Okay. But anyway, she was respectful of it. But as soon as she was ready to let me know what she knew. But as I said, Arabiya Fusha, her contribution to the conversation was very minimal. Okay, because they don't speak that, and their language was not. This is the reason why I mentioned the Imam's speech, because their language was not the Quran. The Quran upgraded their language. They didn't have the Arabic language, and then the Quran was strong from that. Allah, according to what Imam Mohammed pointed out to, Allah upgraded the Arabic language with new words that they didn't even have before. But they are the same structure, and that structure that I'm talking about is where we can always go back to the root word. When you can go back to the root word, then you don't have the problem that languages have throughout the world today. All languages except Arabiya Fusha. I know some of you have heard those things that Arabic is the original language. And I don't know whether it's the original language in the sense that no man spoke anything until he said Arabic. But the nature, the way the language is structured, and this is important. You might say, well, you ain't taught us no new words today. This is more important than just the new words. Because if you just learn some words by rote and you learn to say them, and you don't get any understanding about the contribution that this can make to your intellectual development, then it's really almost a waste of time. You're just learning words to speak, as opposed to learning words to grow from, intellectual to grow from, your mind to grow. The mind is created to make the connections. And every word in the Quran can be connected to a root word. And when you go to that root word, you're going to find that it's so much deeper than the translation, until you're going to think that sometimes that the translator actually mistranslated it. And he didn't. He just translated based on his experience, and he apologizes for it. Everyone that I know apologized for it. He lets you know in footnotes and in comments that this is the best I could do. All right. And what is the best he could do based on his experiences? Which means what? That we don't have a complete translation, although we have it in the essence of Imam Muhammad's speeches, but we don't have it compiled as a translation. But we do have a translation of the Quran in the tafsir of Imam Muhammad. And that's what we should be looking at that what he said, not that some cloud came out the sky and boom, and Imam Muhammad said, wow, this is what I have to say. No, the structure of the language will gather. And why is that important? So that we can truly become what we often say, we are Imam Muhammad. We can truly become Imam Muhammad, meaning that we can take words that are Quranic words and go to that root word in the same manner and get that same kind of improved understanding. Not saying that we'll be as good as he is, but we will be in that line, in that family of Arabic speaking. Yes, sir.
And he wanted to do a translation.
I know he did. I know. Yeah, he mentioned it. He mentioned it.
We got to do it.
That's right. And in order for us to do it, we got to go through that same line of reasoning. That's what he called it logic. I think he used logic. That same manner of logic that he used so that we can do what he talked about. And that's right. That's right. All right. So did you find it? I sure would like to If you got the verse of translation, I'll find the word, the Arabic word. That's one of the translation. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, okay, wait, sir. Okay, all right. So he said, Qalu fa'inaka, I mean, that's what he said, you made me. Okay. What is he? Allah said respect. What does he say? Okay. Qalu Rabbi fanfuru, okay, Nazareth. Fanfuruni, Nazareth. Listen, let me just do this. Can I just take a second to? Okay. The word that he translates, that Yusuf Ali translates for respite, is fanzurani.
Nothing connects to that Z.
This is not a Z.
Zor.
This
I'm sorry.
is noon. And you want to get out of here talking to me English words. No, that's noon. That's the thing. Okay. Fanzurani. Zur. Let me just make sure I can disturb me now. Let me make sure I spell it the way it's supposed to be spelled. Yeah, Zur. Yeah, Zurani. Fanzurani. Fanzur. Ni. Fanzurani. That's the word that he translates for respite. Fanzurani. And the fa means that's the then, not later on, but right now. That's what we're saying to Allah right now. You know, thumma is then also. But this fa is a prefix on Nazareth. Here's the root word here. And I'm glad I looked out there and saw Imam so he can verify this and we can get this over with. Nazareth. And Nazareth means to watch. All right. So what does he say? And the knee is me. Fanzurani. Watch me. Right now. Not later on, not in the judgment day, watch me. No, fa. Not thumma. Fanzurani. Watch me right now. So you see how that word, that's respite, almost becomes meaningless to me. I know it was almost meaningless because I could not understand Shaitan with his attitude saying, give me a break. No, he said he's boasting. He's still boastful. Even though he recognized Allah is his Lord, he's still boastful. And he said, watch me. Now check this out. I'm sorry, I forgot to put the without the dot, it's a whole different thing. All right. Nazareth, which means yes.
I can't help but to notice, but that attitude is how we treat each other.
Thank you. Ooh, I wish I had time.
Until the police show up.
Yeah. That's because we have come up in a combative society. We can't even talk to each other without combat. We can't even. How we meet each other. I ain't scared of you. That's the attitude. We don't have physical, but that's our attitude. I ain't scared of you.
Even them little bad kids.
Yeah, right. And so we need, especially when it comes to the concept of shura, this is something that we really need to work on, understanding that we've come up with a combative mentality. We don't talk to each other. We are fighting each other with our words, with our questions, with our challenges to each other. That's where we are. We're combative. Thank you for bringing that. Yes, sir.
Just a question. Is that word linked to Nazareth?
No, sir. No. That's I'm talking about like Nazarene, like the Christian word for Christian.
Like Jesus.
No, no, sir. There's a different letter here. This is Zah. That's Zah.
Nasara, the helper.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Saw. They saw. Without the T on the Nasara. Thank you. Nasara. Saw. Let me just write it for you so you can see. It looks similar, but no. Nasara. See, this got this and this on it. Saw. Nasara. Not Nasara. Nasara. Saw is supposed to sing. Okay, and that's the word means to help. Okay, and that's what the Nazarenes they were helpers. Okay, all right. That take care of that? Any other quick comments before I go? Got me started, now I'm ready to go. All right.
Make sure you be here next week.
Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.